Okay, so welcome to Introduction to Computer Programming Principles. You're with me, Mr. Samson Mango Sumba. I'm based in Kenya and I'm going to take you through Introduction to Computer Programming Principles. So we can start with the basics. Okay, so we can run our screen. So the unit is Computer Programming Principles. It's taken as Module 4 in CDAC Cycle 3, also known as the Modularized Curriculum. As I said, my name is Mr. Samson Mango Sumba. I'm going to take you through the same. So, first of all, we need to start with the basics. What is a computer? Because the unit is Computer Programming Principles. So, what is a computer? So, a computer, the easiest way to define a computer is to differentiate it from other devices. So, you can say that a computer is a digital or an electronic device that does what? Then from there, you just fill in. A computer is a digital or electronic device that accepts user input, processes that input, uh, displays it, then stores it for later retrieval. Then you'll have defined a computer. So if a computer should take user input, process it, and display and store, then it means that we must have a way to instruct the computer. So the way that we instruct the computer is what we instruct it through a program or a software. And then for us to come up with that program or software, we must be able to code that software. So the computer will not automatically understand the natural language, even though we have natural language processors, but automatically the computer will not be able to process the natural language. So we use what we call a programming language. So let us define what is programming. Computer programming is the process of designing, writing, testing, and maintaining instructions or code that a computer follows to perform specific tasks. In simple terms, it is telling the computer what to do and how to do it using a programming language. So the key points here is that in computer programming, we use programming languages such as Java, C++, and Python. It involves problem solving and logical thinking. It produces programs or software or applications. Then we need to look at the importance of computer programming in ICT. Why would you engage, or why should you study or gain skills and knowledge in computer programming if you're in ICT? One is for development of software applications, is that through computer programming, it enables the creation of systems such as school management systems, banking systems, mobile and web applications. Number two is that we do computer programming so that we can achieve automation of tasks. This helps reduce manual work by automating repetitive tasks. Example is the payroll processing and data entry system. Number three, on why we do computer programming, is problem solving. It helps in developing solutions to real world problems. It is used in areas like healthcare, education, and business, and so on. Then number four, on why we engage in computer programming, is because we want to achieve control of hardware devices. Programming helps to control devices such as robots, embedded system, and Internet of Things or IoT devices. Another reason why we engage in computer programming in ICT is because of data processing and management. It enables handling large amounts of data efficiently, is used in databases and data analysis system. Then another reason, number six, is that innovation and technological development. Through computer programming, we can be able to drive development of new technologies such as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity systems, and cloud computing systems. Number seven, on why we undertake computer programming in ICT, is that it opens path to career opportunities. It creates employment in ICT fields such as software development, system analysis, and network administration. So, with that established, it is now important that we look at programming languages. What is a language? So it's important for you, first of all, to understand a language so that you can understand what is a programming language. So a language is simply what refers to a system of communication that involves symbols and rules whose meaning is understood by both parties in the communication. A programming language is a language that allows people to write specific commands to be executed on a computer. So I hope now you can be able to differentiate between a language and a programming language. So the programming language is that it focuses on you creating specific commands that will be executed on a computer, then that becomes a programming language. Then we need to look at overview of programming language categories. Programming language can be grouped based on how they are designed to solve problems. Under this, we have several. Number one is what we call the procedural languages. This type of programming languages follow a step-by-step approach to solving problems. Programs are written as a sequence of instructions. Example is C. And then the category two is the object-oriented languages, OOP or OOP. I prefer OOP. These ones are based on objects and classes. They promote reuse through inheritance and modular design. Example is Java and C++. Then we also have category three programming languages. These are the functional languages. They focus on functions and expressions rather than commands. They avoid changing data and state. Example is the Haskell. Then we also need to look at the criteria for selecting programming languages. So the selection of a programming language should be guided by user requirement. Is that you're not just going to pick a language because you like it or you are familiar with it. We have certain considerations before you can select a programming language, and these are what we call the criteria for selecting programming language. So number one is user requirement. So the nature of the problem, e.g., are you going to develop a web, mobile, or system development? So it will guide you on which languages to use. For example, if you're going to use web, you will most likely use PHP. You may use C Sharp. You may use Python. Okay, and so on. If you're going to do mobile, then definitely you're going to do a bit of Java. If you're going to do system development, then you may use C Sharp, Java, and so on. Then the criteria. This is the basis. The basis number two of selecting a programming language is the ease of use. Is that you must select a language that is simple enough and readable enough, meaning it is easy for you to understand and code, and for others to also understand your program. Because remember, when you are coding a program, you are not necessarily the person who shall be maintaining that program. So it should be easy for another person to understand the code that you wrote. Then three, the consideration number three, or the criteria number three for selecting a programming language is performance. Execution speed and efficiency is that you must select a language that executes fast and is efficient. Now, a good example is C and C++ programming languages. They are compact, they also execute fast. uh, they are compiled, so that makes them in terms of performance so good. Then another one is platform compatibility, is that you select a language that can be able to run on the required system or devices or across devices. For example, uh, C Sharp C Sharp and Visual Basic are mainly tailored for the Windows environment. But if you're looking for a language that can run on any device, then you will be looking at languages, programming languages such as Java. Then we have availability of tools and support, is that they must be, that language must have sufficient or updated integrated development environments, IDEs, libraries, frameworks, and community support. Then another thing to consider in terms of selecting programming language is scalability and maintainability. Is that it should be they should be easy for you to update and expand the system. Then programming paradigms. So another thing that we need to look at is something we call programming paradigm. A programming paradigm is a set or style or approach. I mean, a programming paradigm is a style or approach used to design and write programs. It defines how a programmer thinks about solving a problem and structuring code. Programming paradigms or categories. Now, there are four programming paradigms or categories. We have the imperative, functional, procedural, and object oriented. So we shall pick there in the second lesson.